Hi everyone, welcome back to Craft Room. So today we are doing part 2 of making the pages for our memory book. So these are the pages that we have, and we are going to do the covering and get back on track to finish these all off. So the first 2 pages, let's just have a quick recap. This is page 1, which is a double flap. Page 2, we have a double pocket. Page 3, we have the interlaced gatefold booklet. And page 4, we have a deep pocket. Okay. So these are the ones that are ready to go in. So we're now on to page 5, and again what we're going to do is we are going to put the pattern paper onto the back of the card. So once again we have our paper. Remembering that my paper is directional because I have a background text. So the measurements for the paper, leaving a margin around the edge, is 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. Of those, so I can get 2 from one 12 by 12, so that is 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. And again, remember, we keep all our scraps to use them for the inserts. We can use these for the fronts of pockets or for tags or anything like that. Okay, so the first thing I am going to do is put these on. Now, remember, the pages, the openings are on either side, and that means that the text goes this way. So I am going to get more glue, actually. This is the glue I bought. Now, I'm filming this in January, and I bought that bottle of glue, I think, round about March last year, and I've still got so much left. I really think it's great. You just buy these little bottles and you can top them up. You never run out. So I reckon that this bottle has in fact lasted me, or will last me, a year. And you know, I make loads of things. I make loads of memory books and cards and giveaways and, you know, all sorts of things. So the thing I don't find, this particular glue is not good for glitter paper. It takes the colour out of the glitter in glitter paper. But for everyday card making, book making, that's the glue that I use. I generally have not found that it wrinkles too much. Maybe it's the card thickness or the paper thickness. I tend not to use very thin paper. Maybe that's another reason that it doesn't sort of ruffle or wave too much. Okay, so there we have the backgrounds done. We can put that out of the way. Now, the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to do on this page a pull out booklet. Now I'm going to show you the pull-out booklet. So this is the cover. It has a double fold at the spine, and we have 2 pages. So let's make these up. So I'm using my 12 by 12. Actually, I haven't checked my scraps. I might be able to use these. Let me check the measurements. It should be 6 1/4. No, that's not big enough. So we have 6 1/4 by 10 1/4. Now, while we're here, we're going to cut the pages. And they are also 6 1/4 but this time by 10 1/2. And we need 2 of these. 6 1/4 by 10 1/2. Okay, so we can put that away. We can keep our scraps good size, and now we need our scoreboard. So the longer pieces, these are the inserts for the pages. So this is 10 1/2 long, and we are going to score here at 5 and at 10. The second one, again, this is 10 1/2, so we score at 5 and at 10. And then the cover, we are scoring, wait till I get my sizes just to make sure. I haven't got it. Where's my book? I'll just take it off here. I have everything written down. So this is at 5 and 5 1/4. We're scoring this at 5, 5 1/4. Okay. So now we're going to fold. I don't know if you've seen my recipe book. And I write down all the measurements and instructions. This isn't straight. You have to make sure when we fold it that these edges are straight. That's it. And then burnish. So we have a little spine there. Let me show you my recipe book. So in here, Traveler's Journal, the person that does it, the YouTube site, the 6x6, all about the pockets, a soap box for Body Shop. And so all of these things I write in here, mini brag books, and I write them on card, then I make them to see how it works out. So for this one, I will have a fold out book in here. And it will all be written in here. So when it comes to making things up, there you are, pull out booklet. There's the recipes, the size, where to score, etc, etc. So it's all in here. And so when it comes to making up a new book, all I need to do is look up my recipe book, and then I'll be able to get everything I need. Because as you make these books, you do tend to want to mix and match a bit, and you know, bring in your own style and things like that. So that's why it's good to have things written down, so you don't have to go through hundreds of YouTube videos to find the right one that you want. So we are now going to put tape onto the 1/2 inch flaps. This increases the amount of space for photographs or journaling so much, just this one booklet. So what we're going to do is we are going to use these tabs to attach it to the booklet outside. Okay, so we line it up, and we can use the lines that we've got on our mat here with the vertical lines and the horizontal lines. We want it to be even horizontally and vertically, and just to almost at the fold, and then all I do is pull the tape and stick it down. I'm going to do the same at the end of this one. We are going to line it up horizontally and vertically. We're going to put it almost at the fold line, and then we just and that's it. Now look at all these photo spaces. So all we do is fold that up and close it. So there you have it. We are now going to put this onto the book. Now we can put on a closer, and if you're going to put on a closer, you need to do it now before it goes into the book. So what I would say for the closer is just a narrow piece of card. Let's see how good this is at doing little strips. I mean, honestly, it's only about, I think that's an inch. I think that might be too wide. Now you want to cover it with a piece of paper, so perhaps you use a piece of this paper to cover it. Before you do that, we should put on a magnet. Now, I have two different sizes of magnets. These are the magnets that I use for my memory books. I get them from AliExpress. They are nice and small and nice and strong. So what we want to do here, when we're using the magnets, it can be a bit footery. We want one magnet for the tag and one magnet on the actual book. Okay, so what we do is we use a bit of tape in there on the end. And we cut another bit of tape. You put the sticky side up and then you drop your second magnet onto it, okay? So what I'm going to do is you take your book. This is going to be the front cover. We're going to glue this underneath here, which will be glued to the back of the book. I don't think it needs to be that long, to be honest, because it's not a huge depth. Fold and fold. So we're going to glue this bit onto the back. Up to the first fold. And then you have the gusset, which is the bit in between, and we're just going to push that down, give it a good push down, and the magnet has stuck in the right position for this closer, okay? So all I need is a bit that will decorate this part of the closer. I'm going to do it this way, old-fashioned. Just mark it. I don't know if I can just cut it. You want to kind of pinch it when it goes around the corners. Okay, so we just glue that on there. The important thing is to get this central. The rest of it we'll decorate later, but we need this in place so that we can stick it on the page. So here is our page. Remember, the openings are at the side. This book is going to go on. The magnets are in place. The closer is in place. The decor of the front and the remainder of this will be done afterwards. So once again, I'm using the thick, stronger tape to attach this book to the page. Okay. Quite often I forget about magnets. I should bring them out and have them on my desk when I'm doing a book. Let me just check this. Opening, open, 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 close. Perfect. Now, here we go. So that is our page 5. Now then, page 6, we are going to have a belly band. Now, belly band is very simple and not difficult at all. You can have 2 belly bands. You can either have it going vertically or horizontally. This one I am going to put horizontally. We want it to be edge to edge and we want it to be quite tight. So this is the one I need for the measurement. So let me get my guillotine back, and we can definitely use a scrap card here. So you know what, the width of it doesn't really matter that much. It's the length of it that matters. So the page is 6 1/4, so wide. So we want the belly band, as I say, it doesn't really matter on the depth of it. It depends if you've got a specific image or embellishment that you want, but it doesn't really matter. So we want the width to be 6 and we want it to be 7 1/4. 7 1/4 because we are going to score at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch, which is 1 inch over the 6 1/4. Keep that scrap. Okay, scoreboard. Half an inch and 1/2 inch. You want your belly band to be quite tight, otherwise things will slip out of it. Or you want to be able to put in things that are a decent width, decent thickness, so that it won't just fall out when somebody lifts the book. Okay, so this should be the right size. Get all the scrap out the way. Want to make sure it's the right way up, and we are just going to fit that there. This is very simple, straightforward, but it's effective when it comes to what you can do with it. Here we go. Belly band. Pages 5 and 6, so that can go over there. And we are on to now pages 7 and 8. So once again, we are going to get our background paper and we are going to cut it for these 2 pages, and it is going to be, remember, directional, so check your pattern, 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. That goes to scrap. Just put these bits in the bin. Okay, openings to the side, and we'll stick these in. this is now ready for the next two pieces. So this one I'm going to put on a side pocket. So I'm wondering if I should be able to use this scraps. So for a sideways pocket, we don't want it to be too deep, but we don't want it to be so shallow that everything falls out. So I reckon for this size of page, we're looking at probably 4 inches deep. I think I'll make it 4.5. So that's 4.5, and then we want the height of the page is 8.25, so we want this to measure 9.25. And then with our scoreboard, same standard with a pocket, 1/2 inch on 3 sides. Trim the corners. Fold and burnish. So things like pockets or belly bands, it is simply add 1 inch on to the width of the pocket you have and then score it 1/2 inch. That's not too bad. Okay. Now again, it is a side pocket, so it's going to go on that way. So you could take your hole punch and punch a hole there, and then we just take the tape off and stick it down. We don't want it right to the bottom this time because that is going to be in at the spine, so we don't want it too far down. But that's quite a decent sized pocket. There's lots you can put in there. Okay, so for the last page, I am going to do a flap and a pocket. So for the flap, again, we want it to be the height of the page. So we know that the height of the page is 8.25, so we simply add 1 inch on. So that is 9.25. No, it's not, because we're only flapping 1/4, so it's 8.75. Might be wrong here. Just looking, 1/2 inch. Remember, 1/2 inch. Fold. Let me just check this. Yeah, that's fine. Because it's a flap, we want them to see it's a flap, so we don't want it to be the full length down. So that is definitely better. Let me get rid of all these bits. So flap goes not quite to the top edge, but almost to the top edge, and central. Okay, so there's your flap, nice and easy. Next is your little pocket, and again you can use these scraps. We just want a little pocket this time. So remember the rule with the pocket is 1 inch over and above the width of the pocket that you want. So it is a 5 3/4. No, it's not. It's a 6 1/4. So we want 7 1/4. I'm just going to leave it that depth because I don't want it to be a big deep pocket. So for your pocket, same as before, I've got a raggy edge there, so I know that I want that to be inside, so I'm going to make sure that I score there. 1/2 inch on 3 sides, snip the corners, fold, varnish, tape, fold, varnish, tape, go. Sometimes when you're looking at a pocket, it might just come up. The fold might be higher than the level of the pocket. I have known sometimes just to take that corner off, and it just means that you're never going to get that. Not always, some people always do it, but it just gives a neat pocket. So this is going to be a pocket underneath the flap. I don't want it right down to the bottom, so you can put that down first, so you've got your position right, and then take the sides off and just fold that up like so. There we go, and there is the flap down. So there we have it. So here are our pages all together. We don't have to put them in the book in this order. We have a double flap. That's upside down. Text has to go that way. Double flap. Double pocket. Gatefold interlace. Pocket. Belly band. Pull out. I'm just looking at that, that's upside down as well. Watch the, that's it. Side pocket and flap with pocket. Okay, so let's just clear the decks a bit and I'll get the main book over. So here we are. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put these into their slots. So make sure you've got them in the order that you want them, and make sure that they are folded, going the right way up before you start. So the opening that is here is simply going to slide on top of that finger of spine. You're not going to push it all the way down. If you push it all the way down, the page won't be able to move. You need to be able to move. So when we were doing this, the hinge, we didn't want the tape to go right down to the bottom. Okay, so you can do what I often do. Some people put wet glue on as well, just to give you that manoeuvrability. You can always do what I've done in other bits, where you just position it and then hook it from inside without moving it, which is the hard thing. Make sure it's in position, pull the tape away and then push it down. Easier with the second side. Now, sometimes the tape is kind of hanging out the bottom, but there's a sticky bit there. That will not stay sticky for any length of time. Okay, pocket, pocket, right. So let's do the next one. Same thing again, make sure it is the right way up, and you want to slip this onto the hinge. Make sure you hold it, that it is not right at the bottom. You want a little gap. It's maybe about, what, 1/8 of an inch, maybe. And then we're going to hook in here and get the tape. We're going to grab the tape. Hang on, it's moved. We've moved. Hold it in position and then pull the tape away. Press it down. Second side is always easier because the first side is stuck. We want to hook the tape and press it down. Okay. And exactly the same. Let's do this again. Make sure it is written the right way up and slip the page over the spine, put it into position and hold it in position just above where the crease is. Grab your tape. Hang on, it's moved. Push it down. Okay. And the final one. Okay. Now, when I'm doing this one, what I want to do is I'm going to change this one and I'll tell you why. If you have a side pocket, it should always be facing inside. If we have it this way, it is more likely that things will be able to come out. Okay, so for side pockets, have them facing into the book. So if anything does slide out, it stays in the book, all right? So I'm just going to flip this round. The text is in the right direction. We are going to slip this over the spine. Okay. I think this is the most fiddly bit of the whole thing. You hold it in position, grab the tape, double check the position and then pull the tape. There we go. And this is easy because it's in place. There we go. So, my word, look how our book has come together. You can see here that you've got plenty space for these inserts. You've got plenty space for the books, the flaps, the folds, etc. so that the person who receives this will be able to add to it and not worry about the book bulging in any way. So there we go, we have a book and we have 4 signatures with different aspects on each page, and we're going to call that a day today. So next time I will be doing the inside covers and also the outside, and I hope you're enjoying it. Please do leave me comments or questions below, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.